I got a transition. I wasn't going to bring this up, but I saw it and then I read the article, and to be quite honest with you, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with Sue Bird, okay? Sue Bird, Hall of Fame. Caliber Sue Bird, WNBA. Well, here we go again. Sue Bird is throwing a full-on tantrum all over the internet, and this time her target is none other than Caitlyn Clark, the Rookie of the Year, as well as Stephen A. Smith. Sue Bird is livid.
I can't believe this is happening. It's absolutely ridiculous.
About the WNBA's plummeting viewership. The defending champion on the floor drew an audience of 929,000 according to ESPN. That is 50% less than the Fever's Game 1 against the Sun, and even less than the Fever's Game 2 against the Sun. And instead of looking at the real reasons behind it, she's pointing fingers at everybody. You won't believe what she's saying. Stay tuned till the end and we will show you. The viewership it used to. She's blaming Caitlyn Clark. Yes, the Caitlyn Clark who has single-handedly been carrying the league on her back.
Because of Caitlyn Clark. Because a straight little white girl from Iowa made this thing interesting.
Going back to college, I've always handled myself like a total professional, like truthfully an elegant, graceful woman. Not a hoochie mama wearing freaking clothes up her ass, shaking her ass, aka Angel Reese. Instead of thanking me, Sue Bird's out here blaming me and my fans for actually drawing attendance to the game.
Can you believe this? Some people's knee-jerk reactions are just constantly framing women's sports in a negative light. Always. Just because we don't make $1 billion and we only make, what, $1 million? Doesn't mean we're not making money. It doesn't mean that things aren't successful.
So, Sue Bird is acting like a kid who didn't get their way. You make any statement relative to the truth that goes against what they feel because remember, in the WNBA it isn't reality, it's feelings. Feelings matter. That should be their slogan. WNBA, where feelings matter.
WNBA, where we're going to gaslight you at every turn. She is fuming because people are accepting facts over her feelings, and she is now throwing shade.
Let's be real here. WNBA viewership has been in freefall for a while now. Fans aren't showing up, attendance is down, and the ratings, don't even ask, they're down. We knew they would be down. They're going to continue to go down. Down 50% compared to what it was like with Caitlyn Clark for the 2 games that she was in the postseason. You can go to Outkick.com. Caitlyn Clark's final WNBA playoff game, 2.5 million viewers. And then, the best game since she's been eliminated, 929,000. But instead of looking at what's really causing the problem, Sue Bird is pointing fingers at the wrong people.
Bird is calling out her colleagues. Well, not really her colleagues, I don't think. Sue Bird works at ESPN, but she's calling out ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharpe for, quote, hating on WNBA playoff ratings. Caitlyn Clark isn't the problem, she's the solution. The WNBA was in crisis until Caitlyn Clark came along, bringing in new fans, boosting ratings, and giving people a reason to care.
The WNBA has been around a couple of decades and people didn't notice the game. They're noticing it now. Well, that's because of Caitlyn Clark, not Angel Reese. Caitlyn Clark has been out here doing the work. She's drawing in fans, putting up incredible performances, and keeping the WNBA in the spotlight. Let's not forget, the Caitlyn Clark effect is real.
And that also, I mean, come on now, this Caitlyn Clark, this is the Caitlyn Clark effect. The minute she steps on the court, viewership spikes, fans get excited, and suddenly the WNBA has life again.
I think it is completely disingenuous to say that Caitlyn Clark is not the biggest draw in the sport. I think it's completely false to say that Caitlyn Clark is not arguably bigger than the sport. And yet, here's Sue Bird acting like Caitlyn's the villain in this story. Caitlyn Clark is the golden goose. Not most, not all, but some people spent some time resenting her for it. Cheryl Swoops was one of those people. Want to give shine? Want to give love to others other than her? Just say what you truly feel.
When Caitlyn Clark left the WNBA and the ratings nosedived, many analysts quickly pointed out that the WNBA had not solidified the new fans that Caitlyn Clark had brought in. But this is where it gets even more interesting. They can't put butts in the seats now, and it is hilarious. Not only was the viewership down, but the attendance was as well. The Sun matchup drew 8,500 fans. That's fewer than 50% of the total capacity of Target Center in Minneapolis. By the way, Caitlyn Clark sold that joker out twice.
After Caitlyn's exit, the attendance had dropped to 50%, and veteran ESPN journalists like Stephen A. Smith rightfully called out the ratings in their drop, saying that the game won't be the same and will fall into obscurity just like it was before Caitlyn Clark arrived on the scene. The Caitlyn Clark effect is real.
So currently the Washington Mystics, they're about to play the Dallas Wings, but if you guys take a look at the stands, all the seats, even the courtside seats are empty. Staying with the WNBA playoffs, let's stay here. Let's just say the ratings aren't the same. With Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated, Game 1 of the Aces Liberty matchup on Sunday drew an average of 929,000 viewers. It's a good number for the WNBA on an NFL Sunday. However, that was down nearly 50% from last Sunday's Fever Sun contest. By the way, not only was viewership down, but attendance was as well.
Do you want me to just say I told you so, or are you willing to say, Stephen A, you did tell us?
But Sue Bird didn't want to see the truth and called out Stephen A. Smith along with Shannon Sharpe for being biased towards Caitlyn Clark.
I've seen Stephen A. Smith talk about it. I've seen Shannon Sharpe talk about it. And that's what I just don't understand. They work for ESPN, so why are you hating on a product? Are we calling it a product, a platform? What's it called? A product that they invest in. Yeah, that's where these viewership numbers are. Yeah, it's a business you're in. It's not that they can't.
Can you believe it? Sue Bird is being sore about people telling the truth. She's hating on people just for telling the facts on the WNBA ratings.
It's not that they can't be critical of certain things. They can have their opinions, but that's where I don't understand the framing of that. That's where it irks me.
Sue Bird claims that she doesn't understand the framing of the rating drop. Well, how about we only frame the facts? Do facts require framing? See, what she misses is she should be happy about this. She should be happy that finally these crazy-ass angry lesbian women and their league are being treated like a regular, real sports league. When viewership is down by half from the regular season, it's discussed. It's not saying, well, you know.
After blaming Caitlyn Clark, she's even dragging Stephen A. Smith into this mess. Why? Because Stephen A. praised Caitlyn Clark for being the game changer she is. But I didn't appreciate this article that I read, okay, when it came to her talking about yours truly, because you see, far be it. This is the headline. Y'all, Sue Bird calls out ESPN host for, quote, hating on WNBA playoff ratings after Caitlyn Clark's exit. You said what? Why? What? Why, y'all? Really? This is where we have to go?
Well, Stephen A. Smith is not
having it. He slammed Sue Bird for not being truthful about her facts and suggested bringing logical arguments instead of emotional baggage. And what she said in relation to the whole Caitlyn Clark story. Respectfully, Sue Bird, you are inaccurate. It is just that simple. First things first, we cover sports, right? Don't we cover sports? Looking at one of my staff, do we cover sports? Do we cover sports, Aaron? Do we cover sports, Griff? I think we cover sports. So if somebody got arrested, I can't bring that up?
He also pointed out that his stance is clear from the very start. He believes that Caitlyn Clark, and Caitlyn Clark only, is the reason WNBA is a conversation right now.
Do y'all see these numbers? Thanks to Caitlyn Clark, Indiana led the league in attendance both at home and on the road. The Indiana Fever, nobody cared about them, averaged 17,035 at home this season with Caitlyn Clark and over 15,000 in arenas on the road. 4 teams moved home games to bigger arenas when Indiana came to town to accommodate more fans. I'm not finished. Attendance for the entire league is up nearly 50% this year, according to data from across the timeline. Sue Bird can't stand the fact that people are giving Caitlyn the spotlight when she deserves it. Caitlyn Clark is the real deal and the WNBA needs to recognize that. But Sue, she's too busy being bitter in the world of crazy-ass liberal women. And that's what we got here. We got crazy-ass liberal women. If you disagree with them, if you make a statement that does not fall in line with who, say it with me, crazy-ass.
Attendance has been down for years, and it's not because of Caitlyn Clark. It's a bigger issue. A mix of marketing failures, poor visibility, and yes, racism. Caitlyn Clark is Caitlyn Clark. She's the actual slave that everybody else is exploiting for their benefit. Angel Reese included at the top of that list. Now Alyssa Thomas jumps in. Let me get my piece. Let's not pretend that the treatment of Caitlyn Clark and other players like her isn't wrapped up in something deeper. The league needs to do better, but instead of looking in the mirror, Sue Bird's out here playing the blame game. And you need to protect your superstars, and the WNBA has not done well this entire season of protecting their one superstar who brought in more eyeballs than anyone else has ever done in the league.
This isn't just about ratings. This is about the politics of the WNBA. Caitlyn Clark has been treated like a scapegoat while the league turns a blind eye to the real issues. But when you have the face of your league getting nearly 20% of all flagrant fouls called against her, that is an issue. And that's not just an issue that the players have to work out, that is from top down. That goes to the commissioner level. Like, that is the level that needs to control these kinds of things. It's not just jealousy, it's about race and who gets to be the face of the league. Sue Bird's tantrum is just the latest example of a deeper problem in the WNBA that goes beyond viewership.
These are weak, ineffectual leaders that don't know what they're doing. They've been installed, they don't have any real instincts, they're not qualified for their jobs. And so Caitlyn, they've allowed the Caitlyn Clark abuse to go on and on and on, while everybody pretends, oh, it's Caitlyn Clark's fans. They're on Twitter and they're horrible. They focused on that rather than the real persecution and inappropriate behavior of their very own WNBA players. Those have been the real bigots. They hate Caitlyn Clark.
Sue Bird can throw all the tantrums she wants, but the reality is clear. Caitlyn Clark keeps the WNBA relevant. None of it addresses my point. My point is, she's the golden goose. You have been clamoring for attention, you've been clamoring for more cachet, fair and equitable treatment, shared jets, weight room facilities, dollars, marketing opportunities, etc., etc., etc. I think Sue Bird is being pathetic here. Got on their devices and watched the game, the NFL Sunday of it all, like, we haven't even gotten into that part, but that's what's... I want to say the semifinal game is up like 130%, and that's without Caitlyn. All the games are up now. The reason why it really gets my blood boiling is because it's the exact same thing we see in every other sport.
Did you see that Sue Bird forgot to mention viewership was down by half that day? Or she deliberately chose to forget that? But either way, they don't seem to have any issues with this blunder. They have a loser mentality, which proves why WNBA was unknown to the world until now. Sue's frustration isn't about Caitlyn, it's about the WNBA's deeper problems and her unwillingness to face them. This league is insane.
That's why I have mixed feelings. I'm going to miss Caitlyn Clark. Hopefully, I don't see her on the basketball court again until April, until next WNBA season. But I'm so glad I don't have to watch the rest of this. I've been so turned off by most of these players in the WNBA. Attacking Caitlyn Clark won't fix the league's issues, but supporting her just might. And specifically, a lot of these casual fans who have come into watching the WNBA because of Caitlyn Clark, who plays a smooth style of basketball, who shoots from really far away, who makes great passes, who handles the ball well, people are coming for a style of play that is similar to that. They are not looking for post players to be posting up on one another, drop step, one step to the basket, cheap shots, fouls, slow style of basketball. They want to see a run and gun. Bitter about the collapse of the WNBA ratings, or is there something more going on here? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more WNBA news and updates.